So, this is in Indo-Pak relations and Indus Water Treaty. Now, I would like to talk about another controversial project between India and Pakistan, and where we had to go for a mediation also. A neutral observer was also, an expert was appointed by the World Bank. So, that is the Baglihar project. So, the heading of, or rather the topic is the Baglihar project. So, this is a project on this part of the Indus Water Treaty where Pakistan had objected. We had to appoint a neutral expert, and finally what was the agreement and how it has finally resolved. Let me talk about that. So, this is a hydroelectric power project HEP on Chenab, the hydroelectric power on Chenab in the Ramban district, the present day Ramban district. Earlier it was the Doda district. So, now, and the idea was a run of the river project, meaning a project where only minimum storage of water, no diversion of water, no large scale storage. So, when the water is flowing, when there is water, there is a dam, minimum storage of water in this river, and normally for 15 days, that is how the run of the river projects are there. Extract electricity and the water will flow down. So, in the lean season when there is no water, there is no electricity generation. Electricity generation is only when there is water. We cannot store and regulate and all. No storage, no regulation, bare minimum storage. So, that is how it is there. So, we conceived or we envisaged this Baglihar project on Chenab in this Ramban district for 450 megawatt, a 450 megawatt hydroelectric power project, and this project was conceived in 1992, approved in 1996. The project was approved in 1996 and the construction began in 1999. Construction began in 1999. And subsequently, the project with almost $1 billion cost, subsequently the first stage was completed. First stage was completed in 2008-9, and it was dedicated at that time. The Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh dedicated to the nation. Again, a second stage of another 450 megawatt. The second stage of another 450 megawatts. That was completed in 2015-16, and it was dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at that time. Okay. So, that is how the project is completed, but there was a major objection. We completed the project right now, but when the construction started, there was a major objection by Pakistan. Now, let us see what are the Pakistani objection. Pakistan objected on many things. First of all, Pakistan objected on the design of the dam. They said that, we cannot, India is not, the design of the dam is, which is known as a drawdown flushing technique. See, basically, for common man's understanding, let me just put it this way. See, if a dam is there, is constructed, and it is, it blocked the water. Imagine it is blocked the water on the other side. Now, in the bottom, we have kept gates. The gates can be opened. So, basic idea is, in the bottom, if the gates are there, through this gate, when finally water can be released, the whole water is stopped there. And this is the, say, dam, okay, and this is on both sides. So, when you gates are open, when there is lean season, when there is less water, you open the gates, and all the the mud or the what you call all the waste, the soil, everything what is in the bottom, it can be removed, and in the process what can happen is it helps in avoiding, otherwise what will happen, this mud and the sand and the soil will accumulate and the capacity of the dam will reduce. So we can maintain the capacity of the dam. So every year it's like, overhead tank we clean, and when we clean, so much of mud in the bottom. The same thing we do in the bottom of the dam, we draw down flushing, it will flush the sediments. So all the sediments will be flushed out, the sediments will be flushed out. So the capacity can continue, and it can be for many years. I mean, the capacity of the dam can be 70, the life of the dam can be extended to 70, 80 years in this kind of a technique. So we decided to construct this dam. It's a run of the river project. It is a run of the river project, but with a gate in the bottom, or the gates in the bottom to flush the dam during the off season. So between between 1999 to 2004, both India and Pakistan we conducted several rounds of talks in the Permanent Interest Commission, PIC, Permanent Interest Commission, but we could not reach an agreement. Finally, in 2005, when we could not reach on an agreement in 2005, Pakistan raised this to the objection to World Bank. Pakistan approached the World Bank, and World Bank decided that it is a difference. There is a difference of opinion between the two. It is not a dispute. It is not a dispute, but there are differences between India and Pakistan. So to resolve the dispute, the World Bank appointed a one-man commission under Professor Raymond Lafitte. Professor Raymond Lafitte, a Swiss civil engineer. A Swiss civil engineer was appointed, and as a neutral expert to adjudicate the matter. There is a difference between India and Pakistan, not a dispute. A Swiss civil engineer, an expert on dams, on big dams, Raymond Lafitte, a Swiss civil engineer, was appointed as a neutral expert to adjudicate the matter. So finally, in 2007, Lafitte declared his final verdict in February 2007. In February 2007, the verdict came. Meantime, India continued its India did not stop. So only after Lafitte was appointed, and there are some stoppage was there. So the 6 objections were raised. Main thing is, number one, I already said, the design. They objected to the design of the dam with the this drawdown flushing technique. Drawdown flushing, because Pakistan says this will help India in regulating the flow, and they can open everything during a war time and flood Pakistani side. That is one objection, number one. Number two, they objected to the size of the dam, size of the storage. They objected to the size of the storage. So the design of the this dam, the design was for storing 37.5 million cubic meters of water. Whereas Pakistan said that this is too big for a dam. We should not have more than, Pakistan's demand is not more than 9 million cubic meters of water. So the storage should be reduced. Then Pakistan also objected to the height of the dam. The storage capacity. Then Pakistan, they also talked about the size of the the tunnel through which water is taken out. They felt that it is too less, or rather the size designed by India is less. It should be a bigger one so that more water can be taken out and it will continue its natural flow. So there are many objections, some of them are this, but main thing is design, that is the drawdown flushing technique. Number two, the size of the storage facility, the storage facility should be less, and the height of the dam. The freeboard, the height of the freeboard should be reduced. So height of the dam, especially the height of the freeboard, that means on top beyond the storage facility, it should be reduced from 4.5 meter to 3 meters, something like that. So Pakistan was demanding. So these were some of the demands. India said that according to Pakistan, this is because of all these things, it's a violation of the Indus Water Treaty. That is how Pakistan approached. So the four major objections, 6 demands were there. So 6 objections were there. Finally, in 2007, Raymond Lafitte gave the verdict. The verdict came. See, whenever such a neutral expert and all give a verdict, there will be something for both sides to celebrate. There will be something for both sides. Because that is how, these arbitrations will be there. They will not say, 100% one side is correct. In the Rann of Kutch region, in the Sar Creek, in that region, I said, Pakistan claimed 9,100 square feet, 9,100 square kilometers they claimed. Finally, they got 10% of that. Something they will be given. Same thing, Raymond Lafitte also. Raymond Lafitte gave something to Pakistan, but majority of the Indian claims were accepted. So both sides celebrated when the the award was there, when the verdict came out. Both India and Pakistan celebrated and say it's a victory for both of us. But actually, it was if you look closely, it's a victory for India, not a victory for Pakistan. See, for example, first of all, Raymond Lafitte said that there is no problem in the design. Raymond Lafitte accepted Indian design with a gate in the bottom, the gates in the bottom, which Pakistan objected. That was the main objection of the Pakistan. That main objection was rejected by Raymond Lafitte and said it's a new design, it's a modern design, and that is how all modern dams are being constructed, and India has a right to have this kind of a design whereby drawdown flushing technique can be utilized. So the first objection of the Pakistan is rejected. Number 2 objection is the storage capacity. And Pakistan's demand was 37.5 million cubic meter is too big. It should be reduced to 9 million cubic meter. So Raymond Lafitte said yes, Pakistani objection is correct. The size is too big. There should be reduction in the size. But what is rejected is very interesting. So the Raymond Lafitte suggested India should reduce the size from 37.5 million cubic meters to 32.56 million cubic meters. But for Pakistan, yes, it's a victory. Pakistan said, I said the size is big, it is too big, it should be reduced. Raymond Lafitte said, yes, it should be reduced. But how much? But Pakistan demanded to be reduced to 9 million cubic meter. But finally, the verdict said that it should be reduced to 32.56 million cubic meter. So hardly any reduction, just about 10% reduction. But if you look that way, Raymond Lafitte accepted the objection of Pakistan. So Pakistan can celebrate, number 2. Number 3, the height of the freeboard should be reduced from 4.5 meter. The height of the freeboard should be reduced from 4.5 meter to 3 meter. See, slight, and also most importantly, as I said, the drawdown flushing technique was accepted. So the Raymond Lafitte gave something to celebrate to Pakistan, but even all independent experts, even the critics in Pakistan, they all finally conceded that this is a victory for India. Pakistan's objections were outrightly rejected. They could not gain anything, and the construction of the dam continued. The first stage we completed in 2008-9, and the second stage in 2009 I think 15, 16, what I said, let me just cross check. It was in 15, 16, yes. So, despite the Pakistani objection, we managed to complete the project, and Baglihar project already 900 megawatt. It's a run of the river project. We are not having big storage, but Pakistan objected on the design, on the storage capacity, the size of the dam, the size of the tunnel through which the water is taken out. All these objections, but slight modifications in these objections were accepted, but the main objection of the design and the storage capacity, hardly anything. So, it was a complete victory for India, and that is how we have this Baglihar project. It is already on, and we are able to produce electricity. It is a run of the river hydroelectric power project despite Pakistani objection. Through Indus Water Treaty, the mechanism that if there is a difference, World Bank will help you in appoint a neutral expert, and the neutral expert's verdict is final. So, it became final. India continued its construction and completed the project already, and that is how Baglihar project issue ended.